Hello and welcome to the presentation about English use in Pakistan and India and Bahrain, presented to you by Nikimia and Bernard. In this video, we will investigate what languages are mostly spoken in the Asian region by using a sample of 3 countries from that region. We used a program called Becker to help us in this text analysis task. We will be covering the steps that we took to investigate what English they widely use. Looking at the 3 countries, we predicted that UK English will be the widely spoken language. The reason behind our prediction is based on the Commonwealth connection and strong trade ties with the United Kingdom. We first used Google search and identified that English is spoken in our first country, which was India. After identifying that English is spoken in India, we then looked for countries in the surrounding region and have some form of connection with India. Through our research, we found out that the 3 countries had a Commonwealth connection with Great Britain. We selected the 3 datasets from the corpora and used Excel spreadsheet to extract the frequencies for the chosen words. We thereafter structured the frequencies in the form of UK, US, and the percentage ratio in preparation for the test and country. We decided to look at linguistic terms that are similar in both British and the US way of writing. For example, the word color, which is spelled with an O in the US way, versus color, which is spelled with an O U in the United Kingdom way of writing it. For each of the words, we identified the frequency of those words and calculated the percentage ratio of the spelling UK to US. We used the selected words and extracted frequencies from the word-wide English corpus of the given UK sites, which consists of a list of 10 sites for each given country. This step enabled us to form a sample file against which we tested all the country files. Here's the basic screenshot of how we basically gathered the frequencies. So we gathered these frequencies by using the simple find function, which basically allows us to search for a given word. So as the image is showing, depending on the word that we're typing in, it will just give us how often it appears in that particular corpus of the word list, and that's how we went about collecting our. And here's basically a screenshot of the worldwide English corpus, where we got most of our test data file and basically what we use to create our sample. This is the training file, which we basically used for Becker to basically train it so that it can distinguish between UK and US English. And as you can see, as we stated in the previous slides above, we're using the ratio calculation where in the first line of the data set, we're basically saying that fiber, the English way, appeared 2 times, and fiber, the USA version, appeared 0 times, which basically gives it that ratio of 100%. And basically we did that for 10 websites for the UK and 10 websites for the US, which in essence, and when we loaded the file into Weka using the naive based algorithm, we basically tested it if it actually will produce the particular result that we wanted. So as you can see, it now knows the difference between UK and US English. This is the Pakistani file, and obviously it looks slightly different as in we only have 1 line of data set because we only using at 1 big file. And as you can see here, for example, the last column here states that analyze appears 3 times in that particular word list and 2 times the US way of writing it, which gives it a ratio of 60%. And we predicted that the outcome will be US. So the same really applies to the Indian file, so to the Bahrain file. Obviously, the figures will slightly change depending on how often they appear in that particular in their individual word lists. So basically, after creating the files, we needed to run the test. We used the data mining tool Welcome to produce the text analysis in order to identify if our assumptions were correct. We first loaded the UK US, which was the sample file, into Weka, which was used to train Weka so that it can learn what UK and US English is. Thereafter, in the classifier, we loaded the test data for the 3 individual countries, which was evaluated to check whether our predictions were correct. Now, as you can see from our results, for the Indian file, 2 of the algorithm basically confirmed our prediction of UK being widely spoken in India, but then one algorithm stated that US was more widely spoken. So obviously there's some contradicting data, but we'll get into that. And basically the same roughly for the Pakistani file. In this particular screenshot, you can see that the 1R algorithm was the one that basically was disagreeing with our initial assumption, but the native base J48 algorithm basically just confirmed what we already had predicted. The Bahrain example, however, you can clearly see that it agrees with us on all 3 algorithms, which basically fully confirms that Bahrain widely used the UK way of English writing and spelling.
Now, conclusion. We decided that the 3 countries around South Asia tested using the 3 separate algorithms. We can safely say that on the basis of 2 to 3 in agreement with a prediction for UK English, all the 3 countries are biased towards the UK English. This is also confirms how text analytics can be used to filter our information and over a vast array of data and present it in a way that can be used to make decisions. In usability terms, the process of creating the sample file is a tedious process and error-prone. This, however, could be improved by some form of automation to gather the frequencies and calculate the ratios.